is our real thoughts on Secret of NIMH 2, Timmy to the Rescue.
Oh, no. No.
This is one of those sequels because a lot of people have been asking me to do this for years because they know I love the
I'm going to warn you
so
now.
much.
This may be mostly him. Well, first off, you know about what he thinks of Secret of NIMH. And second, I don't even know if I remember this movie that well.
I'll help you along. But I know what you're talking about because I thought...
so forgettable.
I thought I was going to hate this film even more kind of than I did, but it is another one of those when I...
It's like not even worth it.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I get. Like when I try to... If you were to really think about the choices they made in this, of course you'd be pissed off and really angry and stuff, but it's one of those things where I think the lack of effort put into it, it's clearly they're not trying to be like, hey, no, this is what really happened, guys, and we know the original and we love it, and we're going to really try to represent a good sequel to you. It's like,
represent!
No. Yeah, no, it's like, nah, you know what, that film's getting a little bit of a following I think with kids. I don't know, it's just being bought. Just make another sequel for kids or something. Actually, the animation's not the worst, honestly. It's by no means Don Bluth, but for a straight-to-DVD thing, like, it's
This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when direct-to-video sequels roamed the earth.
Pretty much, yeah. There were just sequels to everything. I'm so glad we're not... I mean, no matter how many sequels they make now, it's like, this was a weird fucking thing that just went on forever.
Oh, God. I think Eisner started that shit. Because it wasn't even one starting with the Disney...
Yeah. It sounds right. Disney was doing it the most, and then
Disney started it, and then just...
Yeah.
And what weirds me out is... Of all the movies you could do to cough up a sequel for, I'm like, Secret of NIMH? Really? Like, it just... I felt like...
I can see a prequel, which I hear is what they're working on now.
Let me put it this way, like... Bambi is a big movie. Lion King, big movie. And I'm not saying Secret of NIMH isn't a big movie, but it's that sort of movie that you kind of remember, you're like, oh yeah, that movie, that weird movie I saw as a kid, and like this, it's not something that I would have been like, sequel.
Yeah.
Like, and so many years later. Like that, what was that, early 80s?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
so you're looking at least 15-year gap, maybe? Mm. Like, I forgot when this film came out.
Well, what it feels like to me is that they probably figured that, hey, this is getting a fan base that they probably thought was mostly among kids, so make another one for kids, when really I think it's probably more adults that were getting into that movie and buying it and wanting to show it to their kids. Because as a kid, I really liked Secret of NIMH, and I knew this was, like, big and important, but... I'm a kid. I'm gonna like my Ninja Turtles and my other stuff. I'm gonna like that more at the time.
I'm trying to walk on thin ice here because I think Secret of NIMH is one of the best animated films ever made. Like, just way up there.
But I know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
from a marketing standpoint, why would you make a sequel to this?
I'm not. That's not to imply that Secret of NIMH is not a movie that's bad. I'm just like, why that one? There is nothing in its like kind of history and its appeal to kids that if I were a studio executive, I'm like, aha!
I can make a lot of toys with this!
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, most of the characters are very grisly and ugly, and even if you were to make a toy on Mrs. Frisbee or the Crow, it'd be tough because of the way they're drawn.
It would be like being in Japan and having God knows how many animes you could do a sequel to, and them going, you know what we need a sequel to? Spirited Away. That one. Why that one?
A direct-to-DVD sequel.
A direct-to-DVD.
Yeah. Just how would you even do that? Little...
It's like you got Evangelion, you got Full Metal Alchemist, you got Spirited Away. Let's do that. It's like, it's such an atmospheric film on its own. It's like, why would you need this? I don't know.
But no, so in this... Everything you can say about it, I mean that... Really, okay, I'm actually not against having another main character. I mean, because I feel like Mrs. Frisbee's story was so good, and she kind of had her arc and everything. It's like, okay, fair enough. Go on to the other member of the family. That's fine.
Well, then make Timmy and then... Here's the thing. If you put it on paper, and you didn't say anything about how awful it was going to be, you just said, we're going to do a sequel to Secret of NIMH. It's not going to be about Mrs. Frisbee, but it's going to be about her son, the one she saved in the first one.
Yeah, like...
And how he saves a bunch of people. I would have been like... Okay, actually, that sounds like it could totally work.
So much of that movie is dedicated to saving him, so now what's gonna happen for him?
But there was a small problem. They really sucked at it.
Yeah, they really, really sucked at it. And I'd be lying if I say, again, just to sort of show the power of the movie, because when I did see Mrs. Brisby in this film, even though she's not drawn the same and they make her look a little different animation and stuff, there was kind of like this, oh, there she... It's just weird seeing her again, because I so love that character in the first one.
Different voice actress, too.
Yeah, no, but even with the different voice actress, it was something it was just kind of neat seeing her move again and be animated, and it's like, sort of continuing the stories, but it was only lasted a couple seconds, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, it's a shitty direct-to-DVD sequel. And it's just one of those things where it's just the most basic stop a crazy mad scientist or whatever from doing something, and it did have that really weird-ass twist where the brother takes control, gets voiced by Eric Idle out of nowhere, and is just suddenly insane.
It just turned into a Pinky in the Brain episode out of nowhere.
And it's just something where it's like, the movie is mostly boring up until that part. There it goes batshit insane, which we were kind of thankful for.
At least it woke us up.
Yeah, at least we could have like a funny reaction to it, but everything else was just so... It was every other mouse traveling in big world story. There just was not that much to it. And like I said, I really have a problem with anything that builds up big time, especially for a little kid. You're the chosen one. You're going to do great stuff. You're just born great. And I really hate that stuff.
I feel like we were getting away from that, and then Harry Potter showed up. I'm like, fuck!
Yeah, it's like, well, shit, we have this story now. Which I still haven't read the books.
The one who lived, you're the chosen one.
Yeah.
And then we had the Matrix, and then we had the new Star Wars, and then...
Yeah, but... Yeah, I don't like those stories.
You refer to the prophecy, the one who will restore balance to the Force and destroy this franchise.
I think I hate it for the same reason a lot of people hate princesses. It's the same thing. You're just born and you're great. It's like you don't have to really do anything. Everyone's saying how great you're going to be and wonderful you're going to do. And
I would love to see.
This kind of sucks.
I want to see a story. I would kill to write a story or see a story where there's a prophecy about somebody and turns out it's wrong.
Yeah. I would love that too.
The prophecy is wrong, that person dies, it's actually up to someone else around them to actually finish what that person started, because the prophecy, you know what, fucked up!
Well, that's kind of what I like in Dune, as the books keep going, that's kind of what happens. That's
the religion that gets brought up around Paul.
Yeah, I
won't go into spoilers, but that's almost what happens in... That's kind of what happens, I guess, in Star Wars, but those movies sucked, the prequels anyway, so nobody... remembers that.
But yeah, so you have, I don't know, it's mostly forgettable, it's mostly a cash-in, so it's hard to, it's hard to get like blood boilingly angry at it. And for me, the big thing is just how much they kind of just disregard Mrs. Brisby, and I think just for someone that has so much built up around him, and then really in the grand scheme of things, does not do much. He goes on a little adventure, and so a lot of it caused by him and caused by the hype that's around him. And where Mrs. Brisby, just came out of the blue and did all this stuff and discovered sort of like the secret to the stone and braved all these terrible things. And because nobody was telling her, hey, well, you're great, you should be able to do this. If anything, it was because she was connected to the other person that was great and proved himself that people were kind of like, well, okay, whatever.
She had to step in her husband's shoes is basically what happened.
Yeah.
He was the one with the legend around him, and she only... That's the other thing I love about that movie. She only finds out about it pretty much after he's dead, it seems.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's like, oh, your husband. Oh, your husband's like, oh, his sacrifice. And she's just like, ah.
Yeah, she doesn't even understand, and she is still braving all this stuff because she is so afraid of it, but she still steps in. She has to remind herself why to do it, and it's just such a fucking great character, and all that danger feels so real because of her fear, but also because of her bravery of confronting it.
And then here, where she's just kind of tossed in the movie, like, that's the thing. I guess if Timmy's story had been all that interesting, I would have forgiven that. But to have one of the greatest...
But to give him a fucking statue, and then it's like her statue is over... Oh, yeah, she was just nothing. It's like, what did this little pipsqueak do? It's like he wasn't even really afraid of anything, and he didn't have to really stand up to anything. He's just sort of doing what every mouse on an adventure movie does.
He didn't really earn it. And then to take what is essentially one of the greatest single mother characters in all of animated film history.
Just one of my favorite characters in general.
Yeah, and to just toss her aside. Like, as I said, had Timmy been an interesting character, I could have forgiven it, but the fact that he's not, it just makes it so much more insulting. I'm like, we had this perfect character here, and then we just ditch her and then go for this idiot character, like, who is just literally just a stock character out of every single movie. Your stock boy adventurer character. And I'm like, I could see any number of animated films with this character. I could see way better Tom Bluth movies with this character.
Yeah.
Fucking Feifel was a way better character than Timmy will ever be. So just,
There's something that bothers me about, because I think we come from a family of really creative people, and there's something about, like, all of us kind of have this understanding where it's like, if we see someone growing up and they're really creative and are really smart and just, like, have these, you know, really impressive minds, we kind of know not to glorify it too much or to not, like, overdo it, because I think in our history we've kind of seen these things go awry as well. I mean, not just family background, but
people
just
get
backgrounds in
drunk on
general.
their own egos,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then it either builds up too much pressure or they get too drunk on the attention. And it's one of those things where when you see it happening in movies where it's just, you're gonna be great, you're gonna be fantastic, let's sing songs about you and stuff like that before you've done anything, I just really look at it like, wouldn't it be interesting to see people around a person and they're like, they don't quite know how to act, like they don't quite know where they should build this person up,
You know what
or
this
not,
is?
and they're trying to figure it out and there's a little bit of a mystery to it or something like that, you know, instead of just, you're great, you're phenomenal, you're the one, you're the chosen one. I mean, wouldn't it be great if it was like more of a secret and they're trying to figure it out and they're trying to see, that's what I fucking like about Ender's Game. I know a lot of people didn't like that movie and I didn't read the book, so you're probably right. You know, the book's probably better, but
the book is better. I'll save you the time
But
on that one.
that's what I liked about that movie, is that they didn't know. And they were just like, let's just see what we can find out. Let's see where this would lead. And I like the way that kid played it. And I thought that was an example of that, of kind of like the semi-chosen one done right, in my opinion. Like, that's always how I wanted to see
I don't
it done in a
disagree,
movie.
and I think finally I've got a comparison. You know what this is? You have Terminator, where you have Linda Hamilton, you know, going through the whole movie, and she does this really interesting character. Now imagine if they did Terminator 2, and frickin' John Connor shows up, Eddie Furlong, like, saves Sarah Connor there, and is like, well, bye, Mom. And then it's just about his dorky adventure, and you know, it just would feel wrong. That's what this movie feels like. And then not only that, but his adventures with the Terminator suck. Like, that's what this movie is. It's like if you took something like fun that expands on whatever the original would have had and just removed anything that made it good. Anything!
You know, it's so fascinating you brought that up about Terminator, because actually I never thought Sarah Connor was interesting in the first movie. I actually thought the second one is where she got interesting.
But that's part of the point. She even gets more interesting. I thought she was interesting enough in the first movie.
I mean, she's not like bad or terrible or anything, but it's just kind of like, you know,
You know what?
okay.
You
whatever.
go up against Arnold Schwarzenegger as an unkillable robot.
But that's the thing. I think a lot of it, even was it Michael Biehn? Is that the guy that goes back in time in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even he's got the same thing. No, you don't get it, do you? He's after you. No, why doesn't anyone believe me? Why doesn't anyone? I have issues with that.
Send all of your hate mail.
No, I
to-
love that movie. It's
We should
you know,
just
Miles-
write. We should just write the address
Yeah,
down
just to our
and
hate
flash
mail.
it across.
No, I actually do really enjoy that movie, but I mean, it's I don't know. There's
Wow,
issues with
wow.
it. Well, it's nowhere near as good as
Anyway.
Terminator Genesis, okay?
Anyway,
nowhere near as good as
before you just completely shit on a wonderful property.
that. Hey, Terminator Genesis did that already.
Anyway, that is just my point. You have a character like Sarah Connor, and then imagine doing a sequel where basically she shows up for 5 minutes, does nothing, and it's all about her idiot kid, who basically is really uninteresting to watch, doesn't do much of anything, and by the end of the movie you're like, why did I waste 2 hours watching this kid? Like,
Yeah.
that would have been
Let's give him a statue.
That would have been the Timmy's Adventure Terminator 2.
You know
That's what that movie's like.
You know what would have been cool for the statue thing? Because that is the one thing that just pissed me off. Like, they really fucking built a statue of him next to, you know, the father and everything. If they had the statue of the father, and then when Timmy's arriving there, they just put up the statue of Mrs. Brisby, and then when he goes on his stupid little adventure and actually does something, you know, I have to write that in, but does something of actual risk and worth and stuff like that, then they put the statue of him up there. Because then they can be there as like a whole family and stuff. But when it's just the father and just the
It
son,
would be like Mary, Joseph, and Jesus.
maybe, I don't know.
Be
but
like
it's
the
one of those-
nativity.
I mean, no, even putting the statue of him as a kid is not fair. Because again, it's building up all this stuff that's like he's never going to be able to amount to. It's just, I don't like that. I mean, this is why so many child actors, turn out so screwed up and stuff, because they're just exposed to this world where they're just glorified and then forgotten, and they get used to the attention in this really messed up environment, and it's like, it's not healthy. And I really resent, it's one thing when they do it to people, it's even more when they do it to kids in these stories, and I just think that's just not fair, it's not healthy. And
Unfortunately, we have shows like TNC that help
there you
set
go.
people straight.
Panthers!
That's not Panthers!
So, I think that's about it. And I'm trying to think of anything else to... Eric Idle is really fun as the villain.
He's the best thing in it, but that's the thing. He that's a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the weird thing about it is like it's three competing films. You got something remotely resembling Secret of NIMH that they dump almost instantly. You've got this just crappy kids adventure. Then you have whatever movie Eric Idle's in.
Yeah.
So he's great, but it's just he's great because he's so just is what the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has Bluth seen this film?
I'm sure he must have.
I'm curious if he's ever said anything about it. Like,
Honestly, if I had to guess, my thought would be direct to DVD. Yeah. Okay.
honestly,
is it worth it? Is it even worth getting angry at?
If I were Don Bluth, I probably wouldn't have even bothered to watch it.
I mean, if he has, honestly, I
would have been like William. I know William.
Clearly,
Friedkin,
there's not.
William Friedkin, I think, said he never saw any of the Exorcist sequels. Which
He should see 3.
I was gonna say
pretty
in one respect it's sad because I actually think the third one's pretty good, but I think he was talking about 2 in particular. I'm like, I don't blame him. Yeah. It's like, nope, haven't seen it, and I'm like, yeah, it seems fair.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that's about it. Like I
go
said,
watch
it's
Secret
not,
of NIMH,
yeah,
and then
just-
watch our review of Secret of NIMH too.
Yes, I
Don't
think that's much better
bother
way to
getting
do
the
it.
film.
There's really no point. It's not even so bad. It's like angry
No.
bad or so bad as
I
good.
would've
With the
enjoyed it
exception
more
of
than
Eric
that.
Idle,
Yeah.
that's the only thing where it's like, okay, now this is kind of fun for how batshit crazy it is. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's pretty definitely a skip. So that's about it, and we'll see you at the next one. Later.